Hello and welcome back to week 15 of our NFL predictions and pick'ems. My name is Riley Northover along with my co-host, Kirby
Kirby.
Stansel. How are we doing this week?
I'm doing fantastic. Went 10-6 last weekend against the spread, 12-4 win-loss. You did a little bit worse, 7 and
Right?
9 against the spread,
That's not
and
horrible.
10-6 money line. So
That's not terrible. I'm not 10-6 money lines. That's not, I'll take that. It was a rough week. It was. I was trying to be a little bit more bold, but felt a little flat, but it's all good. This week's it's a brand new week.
do you think the viewers interfered with your picks? Are you gonna blame
I
it
think
on
some.
the live stream aspect?
Maybe a little bit. I think, first week really being live, I think it might have affected me, my persona, a little bit in general. But this week, I'm fresh. I'm ready to go. I'm used to it. I can understand and, kind of see where the viewers are coming from. I know what they want. So I'm just doing my best to deliver. How about yourself?
I'm pretty impressed with myself. It felt like I was really on my college football roll of picks because I'm
Mm,
superbly good at college football. Not
all
nearly
right.
as good at NFL, but it just felt a little bit better. Just felt a little bit more right. Picking on the spot and everything because that's usually how I do it with college football. So hopefully, hopefully this lends a little bit more of an intimidation factor and you have to perform under pressure. So um with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the games this
Let's
week.
do it.
Week 15, um playoff pushes beginning to start. We'll start with a team that's current it's out west. One team is currently falling down. It is the Las Vegas Raiders at home, not called the black hole, whatever it's called. Oh yeah, it's the Death Star. That's what it's called.
Is
Because
that what it's called now?
yeah.
The Death Star?
Wait, I don't know.
I thought it was a black hole. I thought that's what everyone called it. It was its little nickname, but either way, it doesn't matter. They're
Okay,
home. Who are they playing?
they're playing the Los Angeles Chargers. Raiders are favored by 3. Last week, let's see. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, the Raiders lost to the Colts in
Yeah,
pretty
it was
rough
bad.
fashion,
Yeah, it was like
and
what 44 to something. Yeah, it was
yeah, and we
horrible.
had talked about this in the rapid reacts.
Yeah,
The Raiders are really starting to slip. They did this last year. Um, you know, I think this is actually going to be a rebound game for the Raiders. Just because the Chargers they're coming off a weird win against the Falcons. And it's also a Thursday night game. There's just always there's always opportunity for stuff to be weird. So I'm gonna go with the Raiders -3. What do you think?
we talked about it a little bit in the rapid react where we were discussing John Gruden and kind of what's happened to this Raiders team. We kind of talked about it a little bit in brief, that we both thought that Gruden was good at kind of laying out these kind of game plans, but kind of the second half when teams adjust to him, he's having some issues adjusting back to those adjustments. So this week, I don't know if anything's really changed. I mean, has there really been any signs of him changing anything at all? I know who just went.
Oh,
Ruggs
they
just went on the COVID list.
Riley. They
So
changed a big thing, a massive thing. They fired their
I'm talking about their
defensive
defensive coordinator.
coordinator.
I
I
mean,
feel like
does that
that's
really count for
significant.
much?
That's significant. I don't know
I mean,
what benefit you get from firing your
it's
defensive coordinator in the middle of the season is. Uh,
it's not like the personnel's really changing though.
no, but
It's like
they have like
the players
okay
on the field are going to
personnel.
be the
It's
same.
just it's more just how you utilize that personnel, and if I don't know who their offensive coordinator is, but like if Gruden decides to take a little bit more control of the defense, I think because he is just an all around good football coach, uh, I there might be a little bit of a bump here. Um,
Eh.
not
I
the
mean,
Greg Williams bump, obviously, but I don't know.
Yeah, but I until I see something, I'm gonna roll against them. While you do to say that, I was looking through Pat McKinley's likes just because I think it's kind of funny, and he did like a tweet that mentioned you, he was kind of happy that they fired the DC. So maybe there is gonna be a little bit of a bump, but until I'm shown something different, I'm gonna roll with the Raiders. I mean the Chargers winning this week.
All right. Well, I completely disagree with you there. Uh, and
You're wrong.
I mean the Chargers looked meh last week. Let's see. Next game. We have. I hate to say this, but there's no. Well, oh no. I'm sorry. I'm
What?
gonna talk this out. NFL games on Saturday start this
Yep.
weekend. There's also the SEC championship at like 6 o'clock in the middle of the Buffalo Denver game, and it'll extend into
Mm,
the Carolina Green Bay game. Uh,
mm.
Buffalo's favored by 6.5 at Denver. Uh, the ball's going to carry so much further for Josh Allen. Buffalo wins by 14 points. This is easy because Buffalo is arguably one of the hottest teams in the league, if not the hottest team.
Yeah.
They looked
Uh,
amazing.
it is this a more interesting matchup than we kind of previously thought. Like as we discussed in the Rapid React, Drew Lock had maybe his best game of his career, right? As we were kind of probing him on the hot seat. So I don't know if that's going to convert on this game. I know Buffalo's defense is a lot better. Drew Lock might have a decent game, but who knows? It's pretty tough coming off of a win against the Steelers. I mean, honestly, I don't think the Steelers are. People who watch this podcast know I firmly believe that the Steelers are pretenders, nowhere near contenders.
Oh,
So
without a
I don't know
doubt.
how much I count that win for, but it was still a relatively impressive win. So I
Whenever
am
you
going to be
beat an
rolling
11 and
with
1
the
team, it's
Buffalo.
still impressive.
Yeah, I mean it is, but like I mean, the Washington football team beat them. So, I mean, how much does that really count for? So, I'm going to roll with Buffalo this week, probably by 10. That's just, I don't think Drew Lock's going to be able to replicate what he did last week.
And just a shout out to the chat. What's up, BK? It's BK Randy, and what's up, Ryan Stubbs and Nico T15. To answer Nico T15's question, where is Nicholas? We don't know. We don't know. I wish I could tell
we,
you.
we, we literally
We
asked him if he
texted
wanted to be on the,
him.
yeah, we asked him to be on the pod.
I sent him the link. He's been a no show the past few weeks. I'm sorry. Uh, I wish it was better, but it's not.
Yeah, there's not much to it. Just for the chat, a quick question: is my mic better this week? BK Randy, can you hear me a little bit better? I changed things around in my PC settings, so I'm hoping it fixed some of the audio issues I was having. But yeah, Nicholas is kind of MIA right now. Hopefully, we'll get him on the pod here in the next few weeks. We got a couple exciting pods coming up. We won't go into that just yet, but we'll move on
Yeah,
to the
well,
next game. So what we
that's
got?
an end of the show. You are right. It's BK
Yeah, we'll talk
Randy.
about that.
Hot shot celebrities like Nicholas let the fame go to their head. It's true. All right.
I think we're
Well,
we're, we're about to talk about the Panthers.
yeah.
Panthers
Wait,
Packers,
who'd
aren't
you
we?
take for Buffalo, Denver, Riley?
I had Buffalo winning by 10.
Okay. All right. Well, go ahead and jump into the Panthers game then.
What's the line in that game? What do you have on that line?
Panther or Green Bay is favored by 9.
Okay, yeah. For me, this is going to be pretty easy. I think that Green Bay is going to win this one by 14. If Drew freaking Lock can have the best game of his career against these Panthers, I don't even want to imagine what a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers is going to do to this defense. I don't know what happened. I didn't get to watch much of the Denver Carolina game. It was it was super ugly. I'm sure Ryan Stubbs might be able to tell us a little bit more in the chat what kind of happened, but yeah, from what I saw and what I read, it was very ugly. So I think Devontae Adams is going to have himself a day. I think Teddy is probably going to struggle against this defense. It's probably one of the better defenses he'll see this season, and so I'm going to be rolling with Green Bay by 10.
No, I disagree. I disagree fully. Stubbs is saying hammer the under. The under is 51.5. I would definitely do that. And the under is also going to play into the fact that I think that this is going to be a closer game, more like a 24-20 type game. Carolina is going to cover, but they're going to lose. This seems like a game where Panthers fans are going to be able to take these positive this positive result, even though it was a loss, into the next season, and they're going to say like, "Oh, well, we played Green Bay like this close," or like they're going to feel very high after this game. Uh, but still, I'm taking Green Bay to win at least. But to be honest, I probably won't watch either of these games. It's
Really, you gotta watch some of them. I'll have them on the side. They won't be my main attention, but definitely on the side.
I just get frustrated. I don't know why they scheduled it this weekend. It's not like the college football championships uh move their games back.
It's definitely a little odd.
Yeah.
All right. So what we got next?
What we have next is Houston at Indianapolis. Indianapolis is favored by 7. Um, I mean Houston, they're they actually looked like, oh, what they do? Oh wait, no, they looked awful. Yeah.
Was it? Didn't they
Uh
play the Bears? Was it the Bears
yeah,
this week?
yeah, they got blown out by the Bears. I'm
Yeah,
taking Indy -7. I'm surprised this line hasn't moved any more than it has. That means that Vegas is probably holding firm in their decision with the line. I'm still gonna take Indy -7. Houston just looks like an absolutely awful team right now, and they have no real reason to play, to be honest. The Colts are in the heat of the playoff battle, and Houston has officially been eliminated from the playoffs. So, what do you think?
you said it's Indy and they're -7. I'm gonna
Yeah.
probably take. I'll take the under. I still have the Colts winning. They faced the Colts 2 weeks ago, I believe, and it was a 26-20 game. I think the Texans can keep it relatively close. I really don't trust this defense. I don't know what's going on with this defense. It's played horrible recently. I know there's not a whole lot of talent. I wonder if adding someone like Earl Thomas would have helped. I know there were some pretty poor reports about him earlier in the season about how good of a teammate he was, but it's not looking good. So I'm going to definitely take Indy here. Indy's kind of rolling a little bit, especially coming off of a 44 to whatever win it was against the Raiders. It's an easy pick for me. I don't like Phillip Rivers, but I think he's easily going to get enough work done against the Texans to beat them.
Yeah. All right, next game, Detroit at Tennessee. Tennessee is favored by 11. The line has moved from 8.5 to 11. Uh I'm gonna go ahead and take Detroit here. Detroit's not a bad enough team to warrant this large line, and they just played the Packers pretty closely. And even if they are getting blown out, they'll still have late late enough touchdowns and late enough points to where they're going to be able to at least cover. I'm gonna take Detroit plus 11.5, but to lose. Uh, what do you think?
You said the line was 11.5.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
large.
Yeah. I mean, they held, or I shouldn't say they held. They played where lost by 7 to the Packers or 4, something like that. So this is an easy under, but Titans win for me. I did see there was an interesting
Wait,
report that came.
wait.
Go ahead.
Just this might influence our decisions. I forgot that Matt Stafford got injured towards the end of the last game. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so that might change your pick. I'm still gonna roll with my pick, but it might change yours.
It doesn't really change mine. I still got the Titans winning, but the Lions covering. What does concern me about this game is I saw a report this week that the Lions were planning on moving on from Matt Stafford after this season. I don't know
Hmm.
how true it was. I don't know the validity of it, but if that's something that's true and kind of comes from a verifiable source, I don't know what's going to be going through Stafford's head this week. I don't know if he's really going to be trying as much. So this is kind of a weird week to kind of see what's going to happen. But still, I'm rolling with the Titans winning, but Lions
Yeah, I
covering.
mean, if he's questionable and then they're willing to let him go, I would. like personally, I would just think like, well, why should I even play? Like, I'm not gonna risk hurting myself and damaging my next contract for another team. Uh, yeah, that doesn't seem ideal. Next game, another big line movement. It is the New York Jets at the Los Angeles Rams. This is purely a point spread game. I have no reason to think that the Rams would lose. Rams are favored by 17. Line opened at 13 and a half. What do you think?
Say it's Rams Jets, and the Rams are favored by 13 and a half.
17.
17 and a half. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, this easily, like I said, I kind of talked about in the rapid recap. I'm going to be picking the Jets every week until they win a game because they're going to be winning a game this season. So I'm rolling with them. It's against my better judgment. Everything, my body, my brain, my heart's telling me the Rams, but these Jets are going to win a certain game this season, and I want to be part of it. I want to be a part of that win, and so I'm rolling with the Jets here. Darnold's going to have the best game of his career. I think he might, honestly.
The best game
Frank
of his
Gore can get
career.
rolling.
Why? How? How could he have the
just
best
is.
game of
That's
his
the type.
career? He has no wide receivers at all.
Yeah,
Denzel Mims is
he's
injured.
got Mims.
No, he's
Well,
injured.
he's got. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I
It
think
does
Darnold's gonna
matter.
have
I
a great
think
game this
Crowder
week.
might be injured okay, all right. Mims is slated to return. I think Crowder's going to be going up against Jalen Ramsey. This is not this
Look,
this is where the Rams are going to pad their stats and start to get their
nope.
players into the Pro Bowl, because they're more of a Pro Bowl town than a Super Bowl town.
Well, you
Rams
talked
by
about it.
17.
You talked about this with about the Raiders, how they fired their DC. I think the Jets, week
Okay,
2
all
of
right.
not having a fresh mind.
Yeah, they're completely different teams because one is in the middle of a playoff hunt. The other is 0-12 or 0-13, trying not to go winless. Like, I get it.
I think they have a chance. It's the football. Like, you don't understand how bad of a team you have to be to go 0-16. This isn't me just betting the Jets to win a game against the Rams. This is me betting the Jets to win a game just this season. I think they have the potential. They're not as bad as some of these other 0-16 teams. Like that 0-16 Lions team, horrible compared to this team. The Jets would kill them 40-0. This Jets team's a lot better, a lot more talented, and they have a good chance of winning a game this season.
Just wait until next week whenever they play the Browns. I'll jump in on you with the Jets whenever that happens. But it's just not going to happen this week. Next game. Oh, that was oddly a 4:00 game. I'm not sure. Sometimes this Vegas Insider like skip around the games. Next game we have back on the 1:00 slate. Tampa Bay is favored by 6 points against the Falcons. But it opened up at 1.5. There's a lot of line movement. I usually don't talk about line movement, except like only a couple times, but lots like 2-3 point shifts. Like that's actually pretty significant. I don't know why the line would move that much. It's not like the Falcons have any sustained injuries. What are you thinking?
Julio, it might be out this week. He's kind of a week-to-week thing. I mean, he's always injured. I understand that.
Yeah, I don't think the line's changing just because Julio's injured. He's going to be questionable no matter what.
Yeah, you said it was 6. Is 6-point spread
6.
for the? Okay. I think this is probably an easy under, but Tampa Bay wins. I think the Falcons can easily cover because this Tampa Bay defense, they're horrible. Their secondary is horrible. I know their run defense is really, really good, but that pass defense is like god awful. I think Calvin Ridley could have a career day. Julio Jones always has career days against Tampa, always. So if he's healthy, this is an easy Falcons cover. If he's not active and it's just Calvin, this is like a little moderately tougher. But I got this as an easy under. Tom Brady really hasn't been that impressive at all this season. I mean, you look at him, he's not been like the typical Tom Brady you like to see up in New England. So,
well,
I know he's got great weapons, but even then,
if you subscribe to the Barry McCockiner philosophy. Tom Brady has not looked impressive in like 5 or 6 years. If you subscribe to that philosophy,
I'm not subscribing to that
which
philosophy.
wait, what?
I'm not subscribing to that. He's always been a very serviceable. Even though these past 5 or 6 years, he's been above average, serviceable, pretty decent. It's just for some reason this season he's just looked off. And there also is a chance Ronald Jones might not play, so Fournette's going to have to get all the majority of the carries. So
Yeah, and
there's a
Ronald
lot kind of
Jones
leaning
is
in the
actually a pretty important part of that team. He's
yeah,
actually
very important.
established himself. Uh,
So
I'm still
yeah,
taking Tampa Bay -6 here. I I don't I don't think this is going to really be a competition. It's BK Randy saying that Tampa Bay is going to win by 40, 100. They'll win by just showing up. He's very low on the Falcons by what it seems. I'm a
I'm low on the
little
Falcons too, but no, I think this is an easy Falcons cover.
no. That's just look. The Falcons are just they're kind of discombobulated. I don't even like bet or like I wouldn't even want to bet on them at this point because you don't know what they're gonna do. Um, I don't enjoy even like discussing the lines with them because you just don't know like what's gonna happen. They're just an enigma and it's just a coin toss, but the coin's always going to land outside of your favorite, it feels like. Or like especially for me. I just feel like I can't get a Falcons game right. Uh yeah. So let's move on. This is actually kind of an important game. New England at Miami. Uh, Bill Belichick facing Miami. This is Miami -2 all day. I'd take Miami -4,
They're only
-5,
-2.
-6. Yeah, they're only -2.
Huh.
Which like if it was -5, I'd like start to think about it a little bit. But no, this is
This is an embarrassing
this
line,
is easy
honestly.
pickings.
This is an embarrassing line. We saw Miami, I wouldn't say go to toe to toe, blow for blow
No,
with the
not blow
Chiefs,
for blow,
but
but they
they looked
kept up with them.
respectable. They
They
were
kept
very
up with them.
respectable. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it might be a little bit tougher with Tua being fresh, kind of seeing his first time against a Bill Belichick kind of led team. But honestly, I really don't see how Cam Newton is going to be scoring many points, if any at all, against this defense. So yeah, this is an easy Miami win and cover. I don't really see why that line's two. And I wouldn't even thought I probably would have picked Miami to win if they were favored by 7 or 8. It's kind of a very
Yeah.
weird line.
It's probably the classic Belichick coaching against his former coaches, and yeah, there's probably
Right.
some storylines going on about that. People are really getting into their own head, but the over under line on this is 41.5, so they're not expecting this to be a high scoring game at all,
That's fair. That's fair.
which
I don't think
I think is surprising, but
Yeah, Miami is not an offensive powerhouse. Just real quick, um, while we're doing the next game, if the people in the chat want to ask any questions, we'll address this game and then we'll answer some questions in chat as a little intermission, and then we'll continue on towards the end. So, what's the next game? While everyone in chat's typing out some questions, and we'll go from there.
Next game is Seattle at the Washington football team. Seattle favored by 5.5. We didn't get it wrong this week. It is the Washington football team, not any other words.
Right, not redacted.
Shout out to the Cleveland baseball team. Uh, you know, I'm gonna go Seattle -5.5. I think the lines moved because of Alex Smith injury concerns. It did open up at 3. If Alex Smith isn't healthy, you're going to have Dwayne Haskins playing, and Dwayne Haskins is not good enough to be a real NFL quarterback. To be honest, at this stage in his career, could come like next year, the year after, but right now it's looking really bad for him, and I wouldn't trust him, even though he's probably matured emotionally and mentally. I just don't think I don't trust Dwayne Haskins at the current moment, so I'm going to take Seattle -5.5.
Ooh, I'm torn. I think
Yeah, because
the
you have
I
Dwayne
think
Haskins that you have to pick against.
what's the likelihood it's Haskins starting this week? Has it
Uh,
been confirmed he's starting, or is it
Let me take
Smith
a look.
questionable, or is he probable? Because that's really going to influence kind of what I'm thinking here.
I mean, I just looked up Alex Smith. It said Alex Smith and Antonio Gibson don't practice Wednesday. And then former NFL physician believes Washington will start Dwayne Haskins over Alex. Wait, that's a bait clicky line. Uh, anyways, they might just be
Ah,
holding out. They might hold Alex Smith out for this week. Honestly, because they have a 1 game advantage in the playoffs right now.
yeah. Um, you know what? I'll give you a little stipulation. If Alex Smith plays, I've got the Washington football team winning solidly. I think this team is rolling. I don't know what happened to the NFC East, but it's turned into the NFC Beast recently. I mean, last week, what they had the Washington football team beat. Who did they beat last week? I know they beat the Steelers, and then they beat who last week?
Wait,
I'm blanking.
they beat a good team. Why am I blanking on
They
this?
beat a solid team, didn't they?
They beat the 49ers.
They
Solid.
beat the Niners, solid, and maybe solid's a little too strong of a word.
Yeah,
Still, two decent wins back to back.
on par.
The Eagles, they just beat the Aints. Hurts. I mean, so this kind of division's turning around a little bit. So if Smith's starting, I got Washington winning this game solidly. I don't really think Seattle's that great of a team. I think if Haskins start, I think they'll cover still, but Seattle will win. But so that's my little stipulation. I don't think Haskins is that good. I don't know what's happened to him. He kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm going to go
just
with.
Ohio State quarterbacks, the NFL. All right.
Okay.
Well then,
So let's look at the chat real quick then.
the chat, Nico T15 said, "Give us some more info on the upcoming giveaway." It's the only reason I'm still following at this point. Well, we said we have to reach 50 followers.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
you
and
know,
then the next comment, it says, BK Randy, you said last week you'd be giving
we
away a
never said
PS5.
that.
We,
We
we
never
did
said
not
that.
say that. We did not say that.
We never said
We
that.
said at our 50 followers special, we would give away something that starts with an X and ends with an ox, or maybe even we might be giving away something that starts with a P and ends with a 5. That's all we said. We did
That's all we
not.
said.
There was no
Literally all
mention
we
of
said.
a PS5. We're not giving away what we're giving away. I mean, we are giving away what we're giving away, but we're not going to tell you what we're giving away just yet. We're going to wait till the 50 subscriber special comes around. So the next comment is, are we ever going to see any discussion about women's sports?
Well, what women's sports would you want to be covered? I mean, we can cover almost anything. I mean, maybe if you want us to fill out a bracket for women's March Madness, I can talk about women's college basketball if you really wanted to. Um, I'm a little bit out of my depth with WNBA.
The Dreamers have the 3rd overall pick. I don't know who's good in the draft, but that's all I know about.
I can't talk about the NWSL too far in depth, honestly. I just don't know enough about it. Women's college field hockey, that'd be a nice little, or water polo. Either one. That'd be interesting.
Was there anything else we missed? Giveaways fake, burn it to the podcast to the ground. Riley sucks. Oh my God, there's a spider on your shoulder, Kirby.
There's not a spider on my shoulder.
Penis, unbelievable. Riley says he has 6 PS5s. I never said that on the podcast. I never said that on the podcast. Please address global warming. Global warming is real. Please be conservative. That's probably been spun the wrong way.
Wait, please be conservative. Where was that? That's not popping up on my chat.
No, that's like I was me addressing global warming, being conservative, as in like conserve water, and all that good stuff. Women's college field hockey, buddy. Please. Women's water polo battle rap, please. Ivy League, did you just endorse Donald Trump? No, I did not. I can end that there. Let's continue on to the next game. Like I said, that was going to be spun the wrong way. So let's go to the next game and forget about this.
Okay. Next game, we have Chicago at Minnesota. The line opened up at Minnesota -6.5, and it's moved to Minnesota -3. This has to be totally because Chicago Mitch Trubisky looked amazing in their game. I'm gonna go.
You said it was Chicago -3
or Minnesota -3.
Oh, Minnesota -3.
Yeah. It didn't shift 9.5 points, but
that'd be like what?
Yeah. What are you thinking for this game? I don't know what to think.
I'm a little torn as well. I think Mitch Trubisky just had is it his best game of his career? Arguably the best game of his career, or is it? I don't know. It's got to be up there.
Certainly his best game in the past 2 years.
At least this season.
It's definitely this past 2 years. Definitely and this season as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe during their playoff season, like he could have had like a really good game. I don't know.
Get Nico's take on this as well. We'll have to see what Nico T. I know Nico T's a Vikings fan in chat, but I'm going to roll with the Bears this week. I know the Vikings played Tampa relatively tough, but they're still. I'm just not a big Kirk Cousins fan. For some reason, this defense is horrible. Kirk Cousins is meh. I think Mitch Trubisky's, like we kind of talked about last week or during the Rapid React, I forget which one it was. He's playing for his job, not just the Chicago job, but a job in the NFL in general. So I think he's going to be coming out hot, trying to play his best, probably have another decent to good game this week, be able to squeak out a win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to go with Chicago here as well for the same reasons that you listed. We just got our info from Nico. He's saying Minnesota by 10. It says profanity blocked. I can't pull up his message.
It says Trubisky's gonna throw true bitch ski. He's gonna throw 3 picks and count them. Throw 3 picks, count them 3.
All right. Well, yeah, I don't know who's gonna be picking those off for the Vikings. Like Jeff Gladney got his interception last week. He's not going to have an interception this week.
Their DBs are horrible.
I can guarantee it. Yeah. Let's just move on to the next game. Jacksonville at Baltimore. Baltimore favored by 13.5. Real quick question. Actually, no. That's a real tired trope. I was going to ask, did Lamar Jackson poop? But that's just not funny.
He did.
Yeah, he did. Anyways, Baltimore favored by 13.5. I'm taking Baltimore here. They need to win this game, and Jacksonville, I think they're trotting out Minshew again this week.
I think they are.
Yeah, Minshew didn't play last week, did he? Or did
Minshew?
He? Yeah.
He did. He came in late in the second half.
Yeah, he did, and it still didn't help. He only threw 1 touchdown. So I don't think this is going to be like a rah-rah for the Jags, where they're all of a sudden going. They've already got their win. They're not feeling super desperate. They're just playing for the pick. I'm going Baltimore -13.
No way. This is going to be an easy Jacksonville cover. 13. That's crazy.
13.5.
13.5. That's crazy. I think the Ravens, they're an okay team. I think they beat an overrated. I mean, it was a really, really good game. Don't get me wrong. But they beat an overrated Browns team. I think Jacksonville's going to be able to not beat them, but hang in there, probably keep it a 1-score game for most of the game. Minshew's, because we kind of talked about with Trubisky, he's playing for his job, not only in Jacksonville, but in general. So I think he's going to be able to go out there. He'll probably throw 2 or 3 touchdowns. And, I mean, his running back, probably, if arguably the best undrafted free agent running back NFL history. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that. That should be an easy line.
All right. Well, whatever you think. Yeah, I'm seeing all the chat. I was really enjoying that. Next game, Cleveland at the chat. uh,
That's a good question. Better or best poop moment of all time? Paul Pierce, Lamar. I think Paul Pierce, because there's an angle where you can kind of see there's like something on his pants or shorts. I'd have to pull it up, but there's definitely a little bit more lore to that one. Lamar had the better ending, I think, but Paul Pierce is a lot more memorable.
what do you mean it had the better ending? Paul Pierce won a championship. Did he
Well,
not?
I'm talking about that game in specific.
Oh yeah.
Paul Pierce had to be wasn't he carried off or wheeled off in a wheelchair?
Yeah, he was wheeled. I think Paul Pierce's was more absurd, and he thought he was actually injured, like seriously injured. And then his comeback was much better. I think Paul Pierce is like undoubtedly it's Paul Pierce.
I don't know. All right, what's the next game?
Next game is Cleveland at the Giants. Cleveland's favored by 4.5 as a road favorite. I still really like Cleveland, but I'm going New York here because Cleveland is going to go on their little downslope. It just started last week, as I predicted. With their tough loss in a scoregami game, it started last week and it's going to continue. They're going to fall down all the way to 9-7.
You saying they were going to miss the playoffs?
Yes, I said they were going to miss the playoffs last week, and I'm going to stick with it. The New York Football Giants are going to win and cover. I mean, well, I feel like I'm not dumb by saying this. It's going to be Cleveland that misses it. Because the Ravens now have the head-to-head advantage, I believe. Do they not? Over Cleveland?
I think Brown has still a better record.
Yeah, they have a one-game better record.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So say they lose this week, and then the Colts win.
Okay.
Because the Colts are playing Houston. All right. And then the Dolphins, they also win against New England. All of a sudden, I don't know the tiebreaker deal here, but if the Ravens were to win against, I mean, it can all be. Oh yeah, the Ravens are playing the Jags. We just talked.
Aren't there 3 wild card teams though this year?
Yeah, but I'm talking about 5 through 8 currently. So
you're asking a lot here.
No, I'm not asking a lot for the Ravens to beat the Jags and for the Colts to beat the Texans. The only thing I'm asking a lot of here is for the Miami Dolphins to beat the Patriots, which we both agreed on. And then the Browns to lose to the Giants. That's the one thing.
We're not agreeing on this part.
Favored.
We're not agreeing on this part. I think the Browns are going to have a good comeback. I think they're going to be able to win this one. It's not like Daniel Jones and the Giants looked good at all against that Cardinals team. The Cardinals had Hassan Reddick himself had 5 sacks. I mean, it's horrendous. I think Cleveland, Myles Garrett in particular is going to have a day. I think it's not going to be that close. It'll probably be like a 24-10 kind of game. I think Baker's going to have another pretty solid game. There's not a whole lot to this one. I think your take was pretty poor.
No, the Giants are going to go back to Colt McCoy. Hopefully, I hope, because that's the only way that the Giants can win. Unfortunately, I don't think they are. I wish they would. I don't know. There's a lot of I just looked up Colt McCoy on the news part, and the New York media, they're hyping up Daniel Jones being benched.
Really?
Yes,
I like Daniel Jones a lot, but I would not ask him to be benched.
Oh yeah, it's really weird, but this is a Sunday night game. Yeah, I don't know why like put it in the middle of the roster. But
What
yeah, Sunday night game
the New York? Oh,
between
it's
the
just like okay.
Giants and the Browns. Interesting scheduling by the NFL there. All right. Well, next game, two bird teams. We have Philadelphia at Arizona. Line hasn't moved. Uh, it is Arizona favored by 6.5. Um, I'm gonna go with Philly plus 6.5 and to win. I'm gonna keep on rolling with Jalen Hurts until he proves me wrong, because I really like Jalen Hurts.
Um,
I liked how the Eagles looked last week.
I like how it looked as well, but I think is quite a big difference between Hill and Kyler Murray at quarterback. It's going to be a little bit tougher for them to win this one because I think the offense they're going to be facing is probably be a little bit better. Defense obviously worse. I'm going to have the Eagles covering, but ultimately losing. I think the Cardinals. I understand both of them are in the playoff hunt right now, but they're in very different situations, very different places.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Hurts can technically replicate what he did. I mean, he did that against a very, very good team, but it's not like his performance was, one of the best performances we've ever seen. It was solid. It was a very solid performance. He'll probably have relatively similar, but a little bit less because I think a little bit more tape's going to be out on him. I think a certain player we're not talking about, Isaiah Simmons, who's played against Hurts a couple times in college, is already going to have kind of a scouting report and kind of notifying with that defense what he likes to do and some of his tendencies. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Cardinals to win, Eagles to cover.
Yeah,
Hold
I
on. We have
mean,
a few.
I did
Real
just
quick,
take a look. The Eagles did not have a lot of yards in the passing, or like Hurts only had 167 yards passing, but here's the big part. Jalen Hurts had over 100 yards rushing. And Miles
He did.
Sanders out he only had 30 yards rushing outside of
Outside of the
the
180
one
yard
touchdown
carry.
that he had.
Yep.
So basically what I'm trying to say here is Jalen Hurts is going to he opens up the running game for them. And I don't know how good Arizona is at running the ball or at defending the run, but they didn't play a good running team last week against the Giants. So, I mean, they're different games. It's not the transitive property. I still feel good with taking the Eagles plus 6.5 here.
Fair. You're just gonna roll with them. All right. So we have a few things in chat. We probably
Oh
should
wow! I haven't
talk
looked
about.
at the chat in a bit.
Okay, so I think this is going back. I was kind of watching it going back. We'll start at the. Let me get when you were talking about the Giants. I think Giants Browns. He said horrible take. Aaron says Kirby's a lot lizard. Kirby doesn't have a CDO. Riley, will you be my e-boy? Sure. Riley printed out a fake forklift license because he can't earn a real one. Okay. Can you shout out my Etsy page? Check out BK Rainey's Etsy page. Let's see. Kirby sounds like Brett Kavanaugh. Kirby
I
looks like
like
he's
beer. Still like beer. Automatic. Still is. I look like I'm recording from the waiting room of a gynecologist office. Riley, what if you turned into a bee? Wow, that's going. It's good. It's a deep cut. 6 months.
When was the last time? When was the last time I washed this sweatshirt? It's honestly probably I've only worn it a few times, but it's probably been about a month.
You
Probably.
smell like
I've only worn it.
flounder, Riley. I was mansplaining again. Wow.
No question. My
I don't
penis
want
is
to.
hanging
I
out
don't want to.
exposed. Nah, I'm not that much of a fiend.
I don't want to get too dirty in here.
Look, see, I promise. You can see my belt. That's for you, chat. All right, what do we got next?
What we have next is probably, no, not game of the week. I'm not sure. Kansas City -3 at New Orleans. This would be a lot different if COVID wasn't a thing, and like you get really excited about Patrick Mahomes going into the Superdome. but that's just not the case. Is Drew Brees coming back this? Wait, no. Um, hmm. I'm gonna look at this report. I don't
For
think
me,
Drew Brees
you
is
can go
probably
ahead.
going to play this week.
You can look up that report, but for me, it doesn't change. This is going to be a Kansas City -3, easy all day. I'm going to give a shout out to my boy Nicholas, wherever he is, MIA. I hope he's on the pod next week, but we're not sure. He just picks Kansas City without any doubt or remorse. I'm going to go the
Kansas
same way.
City and who's like Patrick Mahomes.
Seattle,
Better
Kansas City, and
better go.
Seattle are his two. But yeah, I'm going to roll with Kansas City here. I don't know how you can recover mentally as a Saints defense losing to a Jalen Hurts led offense. It's going to be a lot tougher against Patrick Mahomes. So it's for me, nothing really changes. Breeze plays or not.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing. I don't think it really changes either. This is going to be America's game of the week, I believe. But that does not matter whatsoever. Uh, I don't know. I agree for the same reasons you listed, and it looks like Drew Brees
Mm-hmm.
still isn't going to play. Uh, it Schefter reported that he's progressing well and was a good bet to return for the Chiefs, but we haven't seen anything about whether he's practicing or not. So who knows? Next game, we're jumping back to the 1 o'clock slate. It is San Francisco at Dallas.
This schedule's all over the place. Where did you
I
pull
know.
this from?
I
It's switching between Sunday night to 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock.
Yes, I am aware. Uh, Whatever. San Francisco at Dallas. San Francisco favored by 3. What are you thinking?
San Francisco at Dallas, and San Francisco's favored by 3.
Yeah.
I don't know. Honestly, this one's really close. I'll probably take San Fran to win remorsefully, regretfully, probably win and cover. There's not really a whole lot to either of these teams. Both of them kind of are no man's land. They both kind of suck. The Cowboys, I guess, technically can make a run for the playoffs still, but it's very, very bleak. So they might have a little bit more to play for than the
49ers could
Niners.
technically make a run.
Yeah, but
Technically, they need a lot to happen.
so
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna take the Niners to win and cover.
Just to be contrarian, I'm gonna take Dallas +3 and to cover. I mean, I wish I could tell you why, to be honest. It's not like the Washington football team even looked that good running the ball, and that's what I would feel most, or that's what I'd feel the best about for
Mm-hmm.
Dallas with Zeke. But yeah, I'm just gonna take Dallas here. They're probably fighting for a little bit more, since they probably have a better shot to make it, even though their division record's really bad, and that's one of the tiebreakers. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at least that's a 1 o'clock game, and its only importance is for fantasy purposes. Last game, Monday night, Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Pittsburgh favored by 12.5. Uh, what do you think? I'm gonna guess that you're gonna roll with Cincinnati plus 12.5. Am I wrong?
So all season, I was on the train. I was called crazy. I said, "Hey, this Pittsburgh team, I don't think they're a contender." Week after week, they kept winning. Every week, I was called crazy, insane. A couple weeks ago, they lost. Just a one-time thing. This last week, big game against Buffalo. I went on the pod last week and I said, if Pittsburgh wins this game, I'll call them a contender. You know what they did? We all know what they did. They got blown out. This Pittsburgh team is not a contender. They are a full-on pretender. Great defense, a little overbloated, overrated, but not a contender. This, to me, is an easy Bengals cover and win. and I'm going to call it by two. Count them, 2 scores.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
The Bengals over the Steelers. 10-point victory.
You think the Steelers are going to lose 3 games in a row
I think they're on a downward spiral.
to a team with the backup quarterback?
Yeah, I think they're on a downward spiral.
Well, I mean, okay, I would agree with you, but the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're just too good, and I mean, they're going to be really ticked off at Juju Smith-Schuster, and Big Ben is going to throw into better places on the field. He's going to throw to James Washington. He's going to throw to Eric Ebron, throw to Deontay Johnson. It is going to be Steelers minus 12.5, easy. They're going to find their way, and they're going to reinvigorate themselves for a playoff push. This is their get right game because they haven't looked right the past few weeks. This is their get right game. Book it.
It's not.
Book it.
I would put 5. I've said this on the podcast before. I would put 5 other teams as a more likely contender for the Super Bowl than I would out of the AFC than I would the Steelers.
This
5
is
in the
my
AFC
lock
alone.
of the week. This is my lock of the week.
Your guarantee of the week. Okay,
Yes.
so chat, go ahead and tell us your guarantee of the week. I'm gonna go back through the games real quick and figure out who I'm gonna guarantee this week. I am not 100% sure. I know last week, I think I might have guaranteed the Jets last week. I was very confident that they were going to have a chance to win that one. A little wrong, but like I said in this pod, I'm going to roll with them every week. Let's see. I'm going to roll with the – I'm trying to think of a team I haven't picked so far. It's kind of tough. I guess I'll roll with the Browns. I don't think I picked the Browns so far this season.
It's so far in. It's fine.
It's tough. When we don't keep track of it, it's pretty tough.
Yeah. Let's see. Aaron said his guarantee is that Riley won't do laundry.
That's fair.
All right. Well, that wraps up our games. We haven't gotten a lock from our other host Nicholas, unfortunately.
Yeah.
He's
if
gone
Nicholas is in the
AWOL
chat.
again.
Yeah, if Nicholas is in the chat, go ahead and give your guarantee of the week. So chat, if you have any more questions, go ahead and ask them. So while they're asking some questions, Kirby, we can talk about kind of what our next podcast that we're thinking about doing is, and kind of some of these giveaways that we're kind of planning.
Yeah, so our next podcast we're thinking about doing is a QB tier list. We'd put that out on Twitch or Amazon or Twitch or YouTube. And then also, look out for an NBA podcast coming up soon. We're going to be doing a huge season preview, which might be an extended period of time, but thankfully we're not in college, so we don't have to
Yep.
We don't have jobs and we're not in college, so it's fine. It's all fun. Yeah.
Technically, today was my last day of college. Well, I guess I should say last day. Today was I got all my grades back today, so I'm officially done for officially. So it's over. We're going to have a whole lot of time since I'm unemployed, and we're just be throwing out some podcasts, some streams. We're hoping to do some gameplay content. Just trying to do a whole lot of different things. Also, we talked about it a little bit earlier in the show. There's going to be a 50 subscriber special where we will be giving away something that may or may not start with an X and end with a box. Or we might give away something that starts with a P and ends with a Asian 5. We might. But we have to get to the 50 subscribers first, or 50 followers, I mean. So share with your friends, hit that like button, ring the bell button if you're watching on YouTube or on Twitch. Turn on
Make sure
notifications.
to follow us for Riley's graduation present. Spread it to your friends. Share links to everybody.
Mm-hmm. I would appreciate that.
Any support, it's awesome. It really helps us. It makes us feel like we're doing our jobs right. Whenever we love to see the chat so active. It's so great.
This is a very active week. We appreciate it. So was there any questions that were asked when we asked for those questions? How big of a dono do the podcast shirtless? We don't have a donation button. We don't have any subscribers, so we're just doing this right now for fun. If you set one up, I'm not
Just
100%
send to
sure.
PayPal.
We'll throw a number out there when we set it up. What are your thoughts on the radical left giving our babies massive vaccines that turn our kids into mindless drones? Next, thoughts on Bill Gates and 5G radiation. I think we should cancel Bill Gates.
It's an interesting concept for sure. Most definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just kind of the cock. They're just spamming it now. Just shared the stream to 100 people. Thank you, Nicholas. Dona's coming in soon.
Oh my god. The chat.
This is why we need a mod.
We need a mod bad.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and start wrapping it up here. Again, give us a like, give us a favorite, give us a follow, whatever you want. Turn on notifications, ring that bell button. Go ahead and ring it, Kirby. Ring it with me. Ring that bell button
as well.
Follow us.
Please.
Appreciate it. We're going to hopefully come out with some social media. Yeah, we do need it. We're going to hopefully come out with some social media here soon. So I know on the next page, we were kind of roasted last week, not having an Instagram or Twitter set up. We'll set that up here soon. So once we get that set up, we'll get our notifications. So follow us on there as well. We appreciate the support, and we'll hopefully see you guys on our next pod. And that's thank you.
The chat needs to chill out.
Thanks for being our little chiplets. All right. See you next week.
All right. That went well. All right.
Did it go well?
I'll see you later. You head to Athens?
Atlanta here soon, probably.
Or yeah, Atlanta.